Hi, radmegan here. I'm going to show you today how to use a Lucet, a knitting fork. I just made a bunch of these and put them online, and I just wanted to make a video to show you how to use them. I know two different methods and the results are really different, so we're going to look at those two different ways. And here's an example of the end product. This is the first one that I'm going to show you, and it's kind of a looser, like a more open weave. And then the second one makes this really strong, dense cord, and it's got like, it almost feels like a square when you run your finger over it. It's got 4 edges, and it would be great to use for cord, or you could, it looks kind of cool if you layer it, wrap it around. So anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to show you two different methods for using a Lucet, a knitting fork by radmegan. We're going to start with our first method of using the knitting fork. I've got my ball of yarn, I've got my Lucet, and I just wound a piece of the yarn through this hole. And I'm going to start by weaving a figure 8 around the bottom 2 tines. And then all I'm going to do is wind another figure 8. Now I'm going to take the bottom loop and pull it over the top and repeat on the other side. Give that a little tug and wrap another figure 8. Now I'm going to pull the bottom tine or the bottom loop over the top and repeat, and then I'm just going to pull this back yarn out and pull it tight, and this is it. You just basically keep wrapping figure 8s until a cord starts to develop. And this is really quick. It's great for all ages. This is a fun way to occupy kiddos, or to occupy yourself on a road trip or in a train, whatever. And look at that. It's just, you know, a couple of wraps and you've already got this really pretty cord. So that's all you do. And I'm going to show you how to close this now. So I'm going to take my scissors and snip it, and let's say that's all I wanted. So I would just pull this whole thing off of the knitting fork and wrap the piece of yarn that I just cut through the first hole, through the second hole or loop that was around these 2 tines, and just pull it tight. And that's it. That's the first method of using the knitting fork. For method 2 of using the knitting fork, we're going to start the same way by wrapping a figure 8 on our tines, and then we're just going to come around and only wrap the right tine. And when we do that, we're going to pull the yarn and twist the whole knitting fork in our hand to the left. So when we do that, we get another double loop on the right tine, just like when we started, and we're going to pull the bottom loop over the top, twist the fork in our hands, and then just keep pulling that bottom loop over the top. But the only difference is here that we're working on one of the tines of the fork only, and we're twisting the whole knitting fork in our hand. So because we're twisting and pulling this really tight, the end result is a lot thicker. It's a lot more, or not thicker, but it's like a lot more dense, and it's stronger. And it looks really different from our first method. So it's cool to be able to have a little bit of that versatility with just one simple tool. So when I get to a point where it looks like I've got a little bit of cordage here, I'm just going to pull it tight out of the back so I can show you when I pull it what it looks like. It's like a 4-corner braid, and it looks really cool. So if I was just happy with that, I would twist this in my hands and just give it a little snip if this is all I wanted. And I'm just going to pull this right off of the fork and wrap the yarn through both of the loops, just like the way we ended the first one. Give it a tight pull, and that is our second technique for using a knitting fork. So this is the first one that we made, nice and loose and open, and the second one is a much tighter, dense weave. But they're both techniques you can achieve with this knitting fork. And if you don't know where to find these, please check out my blog, radmegan.blogspot.com, and I will have more in my Etsy store soon. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial and have a great day.